Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. My name is Jesse Perez, joined by Mr. Wiretapped Truths Leland, who's giving us the sexy pose there. He's like, and
we doing work inside the house, man. We doing work inside the house, man.
just teasing. And our resident comedian Jack Simmons, joined today by Mr. Tony Gray, counsel. Would you want to be announced as? Would you want to be referred to as counsel, Christopher?
I
Christopher
mean,
Mann.
yeah, years ago, I got out of politics now, so he just called me Tony.
So this is the guy who played Tony Gray, Christopher Mann, and
almost the mayor.
Right.
Almost. Yeah, I couldn't get the writers to write it out that way, man.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't play. It didn't play out like that in real life, right? Because have we been told?
Yeah, was it Lawrence Bell and Martin O'Malley? I mean, that was pretty much loosely who the characters were based off of. So,
Right.
They followed the storyline, the true storyline.
Right. So the way, and it's funny too because it didn't. If Tony bows out the race, Royce wins, right? Because the black votes were split, and that's how
Right.
Carcetti became. So if what and I guess like you can't go back and change reality though. But do you think that was ever an I guess well that it wouldn't have been an option on the show. Do you think the real case they thought about like bowing out and just letting Royce become the governor?
I don't know what the deal was with that. Because while we were shooting it, I didn't even have a whole lot of information on it. I just knew who the real character, the real person was, but I didn't hear a lot of the backstory. I heard some other things about how he may have misappropriated some of his funds for his campaign during that election period. But as far as the way the story was written on the show, I don't know a whole lot about why they went what they did. You know what I mean? Because apparently, Lawrence Bell's family was actually heavily involved with the school system in Baltimore. He had family members that worked in the school system. So, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if he doesn't win the election, he might be working with the school board later on. Because I knew, the schools came in the year after that whole election went down, but it never came out that way. So, I have, like I said, it was out of my control. All I could do was wait until I got the paperwork and see what, the script and see how they went.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. That was actually going to be my question was like, did you follow or did you like know about this election beforehand or like have any sort of
Vaguely. I mean, even if so, I mean, I still got to go by the script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
kind of.
Yeah, well, I just had some loose information, not a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
There weren't I was like, did they have like interviews or anything with this guy? Like maybe you could like watch or stuff like that. Because I know sometimes actors will do that where they'll take like, footage of the person or whatever to study. I don't know how well known this guy was though.
Yeah. Like I said, when they mentioned his name, I had never heard of Lawrence Bell before, but I guess if I was I'm from Pennsylvania, so I wasn't in Baltimore, so I didn't know a lot about their local politics down there. You know what I mean, at the time. And
what part of Pennsylvania?
This was like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So the internet wasn't popping like it is now. You can just go on your phone and pull everything up now.
Yeah, nowadays people are like paying attention to stuff in like they know about elections happening in Georgia where it's like everyone has so much more information available. Before we get back to the wire though, I just wanted to ask you, that's an impressive piano you have back there. Do you play at all?
No, my dad used to play though. My dad my dad was good.
Wow, okay.
And I had a lot of musicians in the family. Had an uncle who played the upright bass in the jazz quartet, and so
nice.
Yeah.
We're raised around that. yeah, I was too. My dad's plays a lot of guitar, and I tried to sing, but I don't know. Sometimes
I started out singing too. Singing. My dad sang too. He sang in church and the whole nine, and he was in a group years ago. They actually recorded some stuff. And my son has a little bit of it. He's rapping now. He's out and doing his thing. He just had a couple shows last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone we would have heard of, or?
Well, he's up and coming. His stage name is Inhuman, and that's MANN at the end of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right. See, like, well, tell me a little bit about like your background. When did you get into acting? Because so it sounds like you came from like a family that valued the arts.
Yeah, but it was I was born and raised primarily in Chester, PA. I don't know if you ever heard of Chester. It's right outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's like Central PA, right? It's like Central PA, kind of.
No, we're southeast, right off the. Matter of fact, Chester's right, literally.
It's by Reading.
2 miles
It's
from
by
the Delaware
Reading.
border,
It's by Reading.
No. This is like 2 miles from the Delaware border. South, southeast Pennsylvania. This below the airport, right outside of Philadelphia, like 10 minutes outside of Philly, 2 minutes outside of Delaware. I was born and raised there. Moved to Michigan for several years, and then came back to Philly for a while. Lived in Philly for a few years. Went to school in Virginia State. Then came back to Philly, so I'm back in the air. I'm back in this general area again. So I've been around a little bit all over the place. So,
okay.
The acting, I started after I left Virginia State because I was doing the music thing. I was doing singing and all that stuff, but I got curious about the acting after I came home, and started with a commercial class years ago. Then I started doing theater groups and seminars with different casting directors. Then I ended up studying with a gentleman by the name of George DiCenzo, who was a Yale drama graduate. And I studied with him for 6, maybe 7 years. So it was intense, well crafted course to take. I mean, he was the kind of guy when he came around, when you got into his class, if you weren't prepared for what he was ready to teach you when you got there, he told you to go back and get your basics together before you came back to his class. So that's
okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of acting, like I've heard of acting classes and coaches like that, and I think it's funny when I hear somebody like Aaron Paul, and I don't know if I like misread what he said or something, but when they interviewed him for doing Breaking Bad, and he's like, acting is easy. Anybody could act. You just go out there and act, and it's like, yeah, and it's such a maybe for him, maybe that's one special talent he had, but it's kind of like, I don't think that's the right message to put out there. You know how many people.
Believe me, it's not. I mean, and part of the problem is good actors make it look easy. So everybody thinks that they can just jump in and do it. This is like, you watching somebody playing basketball and you see them, they slamming, taking around the back and around the backboard and everything else. And you get out there and break your ankles just trying to do a layup. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
So yeah, don't brush off the craft. The craft is very important, man. It really is. It is, and learning it is. As a matter of fact, I'm actually gearing up to start teaching myself. You know what I mean? I've been in SAG for almost 30 years now. You know what I mean? So and I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of work. Work with some very prominent directors and other talent as well. So I think that I can help because especially locally, like I don't care what general area you're from, there's always a local non-union group of people that are doing work and everything else, but you see the work and you can see where they need some help with, certain areas. And I know the acting in a lot of areas needs to be, nurtured some more. I mean, they need somebody to come in and show them, what it is that's expected of them and how to prepare for, doing scenes. So I feel like that's part of my calling at this point to start, giving back that way.
For sure. I think when you told
I think that's
I was sorry, Jack. I was gonna say when you told Carcetti, sounds like you're running for something. That speech, that was some good acting, man. That's a Tony part that kind of sticks out to me.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things, when your best friend stabs you in the back, bro. It's like, oh, bro, really? That's where we going now? You know what I mean? And then, and they never. I mean, because I got to follow the script, so I couldn't go off a lot. But there was a lot of stuff that I could have played with on that. You know what I mean? Because it was really, it was rough. I mean, it's politics, though. You know what I mean? That's what politics is, basically. You know what I mean? You think somebody who was in your corner, man, and they actually using you to split the vote. You know what I mean? That's an ugly situation, man.
Well, it's like a weird kind of friendship too, because it's like you're friends with the person, but you're also his rival. So it's like the friendship only goes so far. Excuse the noise, by the way. I'm outside. But yeah. So it's like it's like I don't know. I've heard of friends that work at jobs that way, where it's like they're both running. They both want the same promotion, so it's like it only lasts for so long, and that's kind of always what I took out of like Arquette's friendship was it was always like a hollow. Like in politics, I bet that happens a lot. It's like hollow in a way.
I think maybe if he'd have came to him and told him up front exactly what his plans were, and that he worked with him, then maybe he could have joined this cabinet later on, and it helped him win the election. But to do it sneakily, that was the part that stung. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro, I thought we were tighter than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he was a pretty sneaky character. I mean, the way he screwed over Bunny and everything, he was definitely
yeah. I mean, I didn't think beating him in racquetball would make him do me like that. You know what I mean?
Did you follow? So did you follow The Wire? Are you a fan of The Wire?
I followed it enough, but I mean, it's while you're shooting and you watch it, and then you're trying to get other work, so you're busy still focusing on other work. And I had family too. I was raising 4 kids, and now I got 4 grandkids and everything else. So I watched it enough to keep up with what was going on, but I wasn't. I mean, with any show, for that matter, I don't get into it to the point where it's like I know every heartbeat and everything that everybody said every second of the show, but I kept up. Yeah,
we had season 2 actor Teddy Kanaz on who played Double G in season 2, and he didn't watch it, but when I asked him about the interview, he watched the first season and half of the second, and he's like, just thank you for introducing me to such a great show. So if you get a chance, I would go back and rewatch it because I really think it's the greatest television show in history. It's just it covered so many layers to it. And had so many.
Yeah, I've got 2 of my nephews who were too young to watch it back when it was on. Now they're in their early 20s, and now they're like, "Oh, I'm watching the show, man. It's a great show." So yeah, I know this already, nephew.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like the best feeling is introducing like a young, like especially like your son or like your nephew to like a movie or a TV show that's like from your past, and then seeing them like, oh my God, rediscover it and everything. That's kind of re-happening with the show. When you auditioned, like, because nowadays everybody knows about it. Season 3 was like 2004. Did you guys know about this show? Like, did it already have as much acclaim to it, or was it just like some project that you heard of?
No, it was growing after the first season because I came in the 3rd season, and it was growing at that point. It's funny. I have a brother-in-law. He passed now, man, but he was a police officer in Philly, and he knows that I had been doing my thing out, with the acting and everything, and he came to me one day, said, "Bro, you got to get on this show called The Wire." He said, "This thing is the shit. It's the truth." Like, I don't know if I can curse on your show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He said, "Yo, this show is the shit. You got to get on this show." I was like, "Okay. I mean, if rainbows and unicorns line up properly, then maybe I'll be on the show because it's really not, it's not, and it's not my choice. I have to get the audition and everything else." And sure enough, 3rd season comes around, and we audition, and at the time, we didn't know what the storyline was going to be for that season. We just auditioning to get on the show, and they told us originally that we were all the people that read for the roles I was reading. We were all reading for the mayor's role. We didn't know Glenn Turman was supposed to be the mayor at the time, but that they told us you're reading for the mayor. I was like, "Oh, that's great." So we all read the same sides and everything. And apparently, casting went through all the auditions and kind of placed whoever they wanted on the show out of those auditions into different roles in the political realm.
But that's the only part you've ever read for was the mayor?
I read, yeah, that's all I read. Yeah, right. And then the
that's
funny
interesting because most people we have, like, I've read for like 5-6 different parts.
I read that one part, and it took so long for them to get back to me. I thought that I said, well, that gig's gone, man. I'll wait I'm waiting for the next job. And eventually I got a call and they were saying, hey, they want to know if you'd be interested in playing this possible reoccurring role as a councilman on The Wire. I was like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? So, and that's basically what it was. I didn't have to read again. They, like I said, they could tell from the auditions where, people who they thought were qualified to, play the roles. We just had to put them where they thought they fit into the storyline. So that came about. Yeah.
You got to get this friend to tell you to do some other stuff now. It seems like he's like your good luck charm. This guy that he said you got to get your friend to tell you to do some other roles now. It seems like he's.
Man, I've done a lot of work. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. IMDb. Yeah, IMDb is packed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm just saying this guy called.
The luck of the draw and everything.
Yeah. No. We.
Yeah. I mean, the industry is so unpredictable.
Jack, you're breaking in and out. And,
I heard that too.
You're breaking in and out. I don't think you're getting good reception where you're standing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my bad, people. I'm in Long Beach at the moment. I had to
okay.
work
Long
today.
Beach, Long Island, by the way,
you know,
Christopher, not Long Beach.
Sorry
California.
about that.
Not Long Beach, California.
We're out.
No, definitely not.
You had me going. I was gonna say, man, I'm jealous.
It is a pretty nice beach, though. I gotta say. Where are you talking to us from, Chris?
I'm right outside of Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful city. Honestly.
Philly's nice. They got a lot of nice restaurants these days, man. They got restaurants everywhere, man. There's a lot of good food around here. A lot.
Yeah, for sure.
My friend took me to Delacio's.
Yeah.
He told me that's the best cheese.
D'Alessandro's.
D'Alessandro's, yeah. He told me that's the best cheesesteak spot. Is that correct?
That's one of the good ones. It's quite a few. They're coming out of the woodworks now, man, and they're changing the recipes a little bit with the rolls. They're changing the rolls and doing different things with it. So they're getting real creative with these cheesesteaks, man. They're pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can't eat them every day though, bro. Don't do that.
No, definitely not. Get that. I did like it the last time I went. Philadelphia's kind of had in like a television resurgence in terms of shows. I mean, they have It's Always Sunny, but they have Abbott Elementary and like a couple other shows and everything.
Yeah, but Abbott's not shot in Philly though. It's shot in California.
Right.
Abbott,
okay.
Shot in Cal, but they do have another series coming back. Task is coming back with.
All right, and that was in Philadelphia.
Mark Ruffalo, yeah, that's coming back.
That was such a good series, man. And you played a ballistics expert on Task, and
it's weird how that came out because the creator of the show, Brad Inglesby, he actually created Mayor of Easttown too. That was shot here.
I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played the ballistics expert on there. So when he came back with this series, he just dropped me right into the same role. I'm just hoping now that the next season comes up that they'll include write some more for the ballistics expert.
Yeah, exactly.
More work, man.
Actually, he's the main character in the next season. Just have that. It's actually really about him.
Let me be a villain. You guys can chase me all over and try to figure out what I'm doing. I don't care.
That's right. I mean, that was a phenomenal show. And also obviously produced by HBO. Is that like because you got a role on The Wire? Is that how it works? Like you have connections from HBO that gets you auditions for other stuff, or is it more just like your agent that does that?
Yeah, it's still agents reading. Yeah, I had to, like I said, I read for Mayor of Easttown. Once I booked that, when they came back with this show, I guess Brad already had me in mind to play the same role. So
okay,
I didn't even read for it for Task. I just dropped right in there that one. So that was a blessing. It's always nice to get a job when you don't have to even read for it. You know what I mean?
For sure, absolutely. Did you find those shows to be like a very realistic depiction of rural Pennsylvania?
Well, I guess they are. I'm more from the city areas. You know what I mean? So how things are done or how life is in the rural areas. I'm not that familiar with it to that degree, but it is kind of like an eye-opening, concept to see how things are really done in the back. Where you think things are nice and calm and easy, and they really aren't. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I have another friend of mine, John Hunt, he does a lot of, he does independent stuff in Philly and well, in the suburbs. He's from Doylestown. And man, he was telling me stuff that goes out in Doylestown. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. You know what I mean? Because when you go out there, you think you're sitting back in the lap of luxury and everything's peaceful and calm. He said,
right.
no, crazy stuff goes on out here.
Makes it easier to get away with, I guess, because there's less people, so there's fewer people. So it's just, I mean, people figure, well, I might as well do it out in the country where nobody's
everything,
gonna.
right? Everything's laid back. Nobody's watching me. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I think that's one of the reasons those shows are so popular too. Is like people, not a lot of people are from the country, so it is kind of like this this world that we don't really know that well, and it's like, because there are quite a few like of those murder mystery shows that are sort of set in that area, True Detective, and But also one thing I liked about Mayor of Easttown, and I haven't gotten a chance to see Task yet, but it always portrays these people in like a very sympathetic light. They're not like stereotypes of like country people.
Right.
I like
right.
definitely did a good job of
Well,
that.
you know what other show does it? Ozark did that too, man. You know what I mean? You see.
Oh, Ozark was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was wild though, looking at this is the backwoods type thing. Then look what's going on back here. This is crazy.
Right. It's like, what do people do that live there? Because people, I guess, would have like, that's what makes a good show is when it's set in just some place that you don't really know about, like, because it's like, well, what do people like in Alaska? Let's fucking put a show out there,
Yeah.
And you were also in Creed, and that was like a Wire mini reunion.
Mini. It was a mini reunion. Yeah, exactly. Michael B. and what you call it? My man.
Brian Anthony Wilson was in it. Wood Harris was in it.
Wood Harris, exactly. Yeah, all of it. Yeah. That was fun.
I was working on Creed, man. The Creed is such a good movie too. For me, I always like loved the originals. I mean, Creed 2 and 3 were. My problem with 3 is that how do you get out of jail and have a world title heavyweight shot for your first match?
I hear you. All right,
that was my problem with 3. But
they stretched the limits a little bit. They stretched the limits. But
Justin's a real boxing guy too, so he would,
Yeah.
So for you, this was like not realistic at all.
Right. But Creed, the original was like that was.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I mean, I thought two was pretty good. I got a chance to play a doctor. I've done that before, but that was a nice little scene. You know what I mean? It was interesting. When you watch it after you tape it, because you don't know where everything. Because I didn't get the whole script with me just to do that in one row. I'm just reading it. I did the scene. So when you see where it falls into place and you realize, well, man, that's when he first got his behind really kicked in that movie, man. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, that was deep because he was.
Yeah.
I did know he's in bad shape from the script though, because I was giving her the rundown of all his injuries. I was like, man, this dude got roughed up.
Yeah, that movie does a good job of showing like the real brutal nature of it, where it doesn't like fluff up anything because they really get bad. It's true. You do have you have kind of a doctor persona, if you don't mind me saying. So I guess I feel like
you know what? I guess I haven't been stereotyped into playing the typical thug, in the hood type roles. You know what I mean? I play cops, detectives, counselors. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that? Because I'm sure you wouldn't turn down the thug, right? Or something.
I grew up in Chester. If y'all know Chester, man, Chester is, there's people in North Philly that don't like playing around in Chester, man. You know what I mean? and I would play anything. I mean, I like to stretch. You know what I mean? Character, just feel things out and have fun with it, man. But I guess
you do come across as I know what Jack is saying. You come across as a professional, like as a dignified person, like.
I guess that's what it is. You know what I mean? I guess, the persona, people look at you and say, oh, no, this is where he fits. You know what I mean? It's this other people. A lot of times, a lot of this is about what other people think, even when you're reading, it's not whether you can actually do the role, it's what they think about you.
Well, we had Robert Howard, who played Bunny Colvin, on last week, and he said everybody wanted Stringer, right? He said everybody wanted Stringer. Yeah. And I was like, I was talking to the Miss Donna Adrian Gibson. Shout out to the EP of the show, who's costume
Mhm.
supervisor on The Wire, and she
Mhm.
said, you know, we were just talking about. She was like, nobody could play Stringer but Idris. You know, like
Yeah, I mean, he was perfect for the role. He really
he was
was.
yeah,
So,
he
yeah,
really like shined on that role.
yeah.
But like Wendell read for him, Wendell Pierce read for him. You
Damn,
know, just
Wendell read for that too. Golly.
yeah,
There's
Car-
some roles where like everyone just reads for, you know,
I
like
didn't get a chance to read for that. See, they don't know. I could have been Stringer, man.
that's true.
You know what I mean? But I never got a chance to read for
You gotta get a time machine to do it. But yeah, there's some roles in like in Hollywood where it's like, you know, I guess they put out a call and like hundreds of people audition for, and
it.
I don't know, you know, it's tough. What was it like? Because you know, nowadays all the acting submissions they go through like, you know, on they're through websites like Backstage and everything like that, or you know, different casting calls. What was the casting call process like during that time of like when The Wire was on, of course, before the internet was everywhere?
Oh, geez. I mean, everything was live auditions. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
we had to drive to Baltimore to read for 5 minutes and drive all the way back, or go all the way to New York for 5 minutes and come all the way back from New York. So, I mean, it cost a lot of money, gas, train tickets, all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Headshots were still hard copies. Your hard copy picture with your resume stapled on the back. Uh,
Mm,
a lot of times you had to do mass mailings. You go in the post office with 30 pictures. You're sending to LA. You're sending them every night. It was a lot of money, a lot of time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And half of that stuff ended up in trash cans. You walk into a casting office, you see a whole bunch of headshots in the trash can. You're like, wow. I hope mine ain't
Oh
in there.
man.
Mine wasn't in that pile right there.
And then you got to go walk in. God, that's gotta, you know. I mean, I've done like tried to do acting too, so I remember sending headshots through like Kinkos and like, yeah, spending a lot of money
Oh yeah.
just throwing it to wherever, you know.
I've
Before.
got like me too, Jack. I was an aspiring actor also. And like Christopher said, it's hard. It's not for the faint of heart, right?
It's
But
not. It's not,
it's
man.
I remember like getting headshots that were no good, like ripped off headshots from agencies that they were like, "Where did you get this from?" And you pay like
Right.
300, $400 for it, and you have to like,
Exactly. Then you
you
got to get
just
it retouched. They send you the proofs, then you got to find out which ones you got to get retouched, and yeah, and then like you said, then you get your agent say, I don't like these. Like, yeah, I just spent that. Well, you pay for the next ones then. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
well, there's a lot of like scammers too. That's one thing I've learned like earlier on in the industry is there's also like a lot of people that will claim to be like agents and they're not real, you know.
Oh,
So it's like a lot of
or
the
those small agencies. Like I went to Actors Reps in New York City or something, and it
Actors Act,
kind of came off as a scam agency.
Actors
Like,
Connect, Actors Connect. I think it was. Is it
oh
Actors?
yeah,
One of
Actors
well, the
those
one I
X.
went to was called Actors Reps, and it
Actors
kind of
reps.
came off
Okay.
as a like a scam agency. Like they're like, oh yeah, we'll get like we like you, but then you figured out they told everybody that they like them,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
you got to get headshots from this people, and they
yeah.
do they do. I mean, so I don't know what you would if you would necessarily call it a scam. Well, it was kind of a scamish because they'll they did book you for extra work in movies. Like they'll say, "Oh, this movie's shooting here; they need extras." But like when you went to like collect a paycheck, which was like small anyway, too. Like the guy would never be there during business hours. It's like you had to catch him at the right exact time, and
Right.
yeah, so it was like, and you don't like I don't know, you don't you gotta you're not you kind of expect that like people to be honest and just like trying to make it in the industry, and then you have something like that, so
Yeah, well, I guess even with the changing times, there's always different hurdles that develop in the industry.
For sure.
Because even now, okay, doing your auditions from home, self tapes. I don't mind doing those. My wife's been with me for 30 some years, and she's the best reader I could actually ask for. I wouldn't even want somebody else that I know that actually come in and read with me on my audition. She does a great job.
right.
And even gives me adjustments at this point. She's been around so long, she can give me adjustments. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and for me, I don't, you know, a lot of people complain, oh, I like to be in the office live. I want to be there, you know, but see a lot of that to me is riding on your relationship with that person because they like you, not because of the work that you're doing. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, because I've been in offices, man, where you go in and you hear somebody in there getting ready to read. Oh yeah, how are the kids? Oh, we doing great. And we coming. And you're like, yo, dude, I gotta go in after this. Yeah, you know, like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So this way, it takes out all of that buddy. You know, it's strictly on what you put on that tape that gets you hired. You know what I mean? So
That's true. It evens the playing field in a way.
yeah, it does to me. I think. I mean, that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? And I mean, not that I didn't book before. I booked before. Like, I mean, The Wire. I went down there and read all the. You know, everybody went and read. And we booked. But still, if it had been just been sending your tape in and doing it off of your talent, at least it wouldn't have been a thing about where I like him and no, just go by what we got here. This is about the talent. This is about the best person for that role. You know, that's
Yeah.
you know. So I
Sometimes
like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, good. You already
I was just gonna say sometimes that stuff can backfire. I was reading an article recently that Dakota Johnson said that she went into an audition and was like shaking everybody's hand, and that the casting director didn't like that because she was coming across like a kiss ass. So it kind of depends on who. Like if you come off too ingratiating, people kind of
right.
get the opposite appeal, and they're like, "No, come on, let's just do the audition."
Let's
So
get
yeah,
some.
that's fair. It's not about the
They don't like you for
personality.
they don't like you for being friendly.
You know, that's what I'm saying. See, you don't want to get caught up. I mean, there's the thing that they say even don't go in wearing cologne. You know, the casting director might not like the smell of your cologne. Like, really?
I've heard that for job interviews. Yeah.
It's like, how am I supposed to know that? Like, what do you you didn't tell me that. Can't read your mind. I don't know,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's, well, that's the problem with job interviews is a lot of
It
it.
becomes the ego thing. It's about their egos. You know what I mean? Come
Yeah.
on, let's just go about the work. Let's get this work done. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, for sure.
yeah. So the tape thing for me is I like it. You know, but now here's the other caveat to it though. Now a lot of times, like if I read for something in Atlanta or Chicago or LA even, they for some reason they don't want to pay you for you to come into town to work anymore. They want you to be a local hire all the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You move the role
Right.
and they send your stuff to the producer. Producer's like, hey, he's great. Can he be local? Which means you got to come out of pocket to go to LA, Chicago, or Atlanta. You got to put yourself up. And you got to find your own ride back and forth to set because you're not on the list to be picked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's so like, what is that? You know what I mean? That 30 years in the industry, and now all of a sudden, I nobody's, because I remember when I first did Law and Order. That man, the first time I did it was back in 2002, I guess somewhere around there, and they sent me a letter and everything. Thank you for working on the show. Blah 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 blah. I've never got a letter like that since. You know what I mean?
So we've met one person who actually did not do Law and Order.
Oh really?
Because I feel Chris Ashworth from.
Chris, I know Chris. Yeah, he never did.
And I was like, I think you're the only actor that's never done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only actor did not get arrested by Sam Waters.
Yeah.
But
oh no, Law and Order SVU I think is the most, right? That's the one with the most people, most guests. Law and Order SVU.
I would assume. Yeah, it has to be.
was that the one that you're referring to that you did that time? Or?
I've done 5 of them. I did 2. I think 2 criminal intents and maybe 4
SVUs.
Yeah.
That's surprising that they they're just like
over the
you're
years.
another.
Matter of fact, the last time I was on there, I played a lawyer, and it was supposed to be a reoccurring role. And it's really weird. They called me a couple of times, but then I was in the middle of shooting this film. I shot a film in New York for a Japanese production team called Dear Stranger.
Okay, very cool.
I'm waiting for it to be released, and so when they called me to come back for the second time on there, I was in the middle of shooting that, so I couldn't make the shoot. So things got a little weird, when it came back to the recurrence spot. But I mean, hey, you're working, you know what I mean? So
no, for sure. It's sometimes, and it's been on for so long. It's like it's kind of cool to have just a guy playing multiple characters and everything. But so you were saying like they they called you in, but like they made you work as a local hire, so like you had to pay out of pocket to like.
Well, I've lost a lot of work because I'm not going to pay to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the union has guidelines for what's local hire and what's not, and the whole nine. How the distances and all that kind of stuff. And I used to be a council member for the local branch of SAG here in Philadelphia. Matter of fact, I was on the board when we had the merger. So I've been around long enough, and it's like, I just these things are set up so that you can have some respect and dignity with your job. You don't get ran through the ringer. You got to pay out of pocket. You got to catch a flight on your own. And, by the time you get the check, you get the tax taken out. You got to pay your agent and manager, and you don't recoup the money that you spent going down. So you come back. You got a $50. You got you $50 in the green after all of that. You know what I mean? That's
no, for sure. That's why it's important to have it, so just so that they don't get like screwed over in that sense, or having to go out there and and that's also why it's important to have somebody like yourself. You're talking about like teaching, because it's like the acting obviously is like extremely important, but I feel like just as important is learning how to navigate the industry
the business part of it.
Because it is like from everyone wants to know how to and it's constantly changing now.
It is. It really is. It really
You
is.
find that the less because we've had actors before say that there's fewer shoots on Los Angeles. Do you find that that's something now too? Like it's more going towards other cities?
I've been hearing that from a lot of people in LA. I have a lot of friends out there, and I've been hearing a lot of people are saying that the productions are shutting down and they're moving out and the whole nine. And the crazy part is I still haven't figured it quite out yet, because like if you live in LA and you book something that shoots outside of LA, most of the time they'll fly you out and everything. If they don't actually be a local hire when you're from LA. So if all the productions are moving out to regional locations and they're shooting there, who's going to be the ones that you will fly in without having to say you got to be a local hire now? You know what I mean? I don't know how this works. It's a gray area right now.
Yeah, they're not going to want to spend money to fly them in too. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird, man.
O'Malley almost. So we had Dan DeLuca on with Wisdom, who played Dr. David in season 4 of The Wire, and with the school systems. And he said that he interviewed like O'Malley like after The Wire, and he was talking to somebody on O'Malley's team, and they didn't like realize that he was part of The Wire, that he was on The Wire, and that they were like this close to pulling production on The Wire. Like O'Malley,
really?
Yeah.
You didn't want that information out there, huh?
So from what I'm hearing, it's kind of like the cheating, but which is so weird to me, because it's not like it's a biography. So it's
it's loosely based on, but it's not a biography. Right, it's loosely based on. I mean, they got creative license to do a whole bunch of other stuff.
I feel like it makes you look more guilty when you try to shut it down. Like people weren't necessarily even making those inferences until you start going after them for that.
Now they want to dig in and find out why you're being so secretive now. You know what I mean? So that's weird. Man. I didn't know that. But now the other thing I heard, I don't know how true it is. Rumors always fly about the show. But I heard originally that the creators actually bought the concept to Philly first, and Philadelphia turned it down, and they went to Baltimore.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. That's what I heard. Heard.
So you've produced a couple things. So how does a producer work? What exactly is? I always see like producer, executive. Can you break it down to me?
Producers bring in the resources. Like, if you need a good DP, you need a new line producer, or you need, PAs and all that. So you reach out to your resources and bring them in, to see if they want to work on a project. So that's basically what producers do. You put together the actual team that's going to actually work on this project. Executive producers, of course, are the finance guys. They're the people with the money, sometimes you have associate producers. Those are people who just know people who know people, and you went through them to get this other person, so they become an associate producer by helping you.
That makes sense. They produce associates. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, but that's basically all it is. You're just part of the team who pulls the team together. You know.
Okay. And now, so how is that? How is it? How do you get called to be a producer? Like, how does that work out?
Well, most of the stuff that I've done has been independent stuff. So, people who are doing productions know that I know a lot of people in the industry. So they might say, "Hey, can you help me with do this project? You can help me do this, or help me bring some people in, or set up some meetings with some people so I can talk to them to see if I can get them on board." Blah blah blah. Uh, like well, you guys talked to Nakia recently, right?
Yeah.
Like
Nikia is a friend of the shows. He comes on a few
yeah.
times.
Yeah, well, he does a lot of casting now for a lot of these, especially independents, because he's at, his school has a lot of young students in there, so he supplies a lot of talent to a lot of things too, and it's just because of his, people know what he does, so they'll call him and say, "Hey, Nakia, you want to blah blah blah," so he'll come in and he'll get credit for being part of the casting and everything else for those projects too. So it's just about a network of people who know who they can call to bring some resources in.
Now, going back to the Wire real quick. How was the experience working with Mr. David Simon and Ed
No, that
Bird?
Yeah, it was cool. It was great, man. I had a great. Joe Chappelle was great to work with too. He was another one of the directors on the show. Ed Burns and Dave. We didn't get to actually work with them directly a lot because they the big shots. They up in the head office. You know what I mean? But the people on the ground, the directors and the PAs and the makeup people, hair and makeup and all. Just the crew. That's who you deal with most of the time, and the other actors. And it was cool. I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, they told me they told me possible reoccurring role, so I didn't even know if it was going to be reoccurring. It still turned out to be like 12 episodes. So
12 episodes. Congratulations.
Well, a lot of the actors told us that like each week, like you didn't really know where the character was going on like a whole season arc. Essentially, is like each week you would find it out as the script was going and whatnot.
That's true.
Did you have so your scene partner was like Aidan Gillen, of course, who played Carcetti. Like, did you develop how was your rapport with him? I always wonder, not to sound like I don't know how this is gonna come across. Is that was that your first time working with like an Australian guy to be like, whoa, this guy is really
No, he was cool, man. I had a great time working with him, man. Like, it was funny. I was like I said, I was a possible reoccurring. Apparently, I in my head, I knew he was coming in as a regular. I knew that, but I think he thought that I was going to be a regular as well. You know what I mean? Because I wrote.
Okay.
And I remember him telling me first day we were shooting, we were in the things. He's like, "Mike, this is great, man. We're on the show together, all right? You're getting started on it." I was like thinking to myself, I said, "Yeah, but I think you're in a better spot than me, man." You know what I mean? But it was cool. I mean, but it was just showing like camaraderie. We actually got along really good, man. I like working with him. I did.
That's cool. They kind of like kept your role in a way. It's like they kept you guys like similar to the role where you're both like competing. You know what I mean? Like they kept.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny.
I mean, to me, I don't know. I feel like
the racquetball thing kind of showed our competitiveness though, because we were going at it, playing racquetball. You know what I
mean? Yeah. Did you guys have like a real game? Did you guys really?
We really played. We really played. They had a professional come in and make sure we knew exactly how to move and the whole nine. But I was going at it, man. I was like, let's get it. Let's break the sweat, man.
That was a fun scene. Yeah. So they actually had somebody teach you how to play racquetball. That's funny.
Yeah, they had somebody come in and they want to make sure everything looks authentic. They want you looking like
I would have been
still play.
Huh?
Can you still play?
Not anymore. It's been years. That was 20 years ago. I'm getting a little older now.
I would have been like, "Can you guys put in a stunt double there for me, please?"
I had fun. That was fun for me, man. That was fun. That had a ball.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's also such like a bougie sport too. It made sense for like the characters, playing like racquetball and squash. I play like pickleball. I just got into that. It is fun.
You like it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just got into a league. I feel like in your 30s you have to start joining like a recreational sports league. It just becomes like a rule. I don't know why that everybody as soon as they become 30 gets involved in some kind of softball league. So
I mean, at your age, you want to stay in shape, man, because the time goes so fast. I mean, I was gonna give my. I don't care. Yeah, I'll be 62 this year, man.
Wow,
that's incredible, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you want to stay in shape, man, because the time flies, and you don't want to be.
But That's interesting because to me, you could play like from 45 on up, like a 40 or mid 40s and up, like
I'm becoming a real big fan of the show now. You know that, right?
We just like to butter up all our guests. Yeah, that's what we do here. Do you have do you do any like outdoor active like sporting to any kind or?
Man, right? I mean, it's I don't. It's like at my age, I don't have a lot of friends to get together and do stuff like that like I used to, man. So if I get out and walk or take a jog or something like that, I feel good. I did it yesterday, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? So that felt good, just to get out and do that. And I still do little calisthenics, little workout. Try to keep the guns. They small compared to how they used to be. I used to be pretty buff too, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, sure.
It's funny because the story of Carcetti where he goes and like there's one scene that kind of always like I was like they were talking about the school system and then I know you're not in the scene but it's just something that I like been thinking about when I watched the show, and the guy tells them kids don't vote, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cold hearted, but at the same time like I would think it would be the opposite of that because
parents vote.
Parents vote.
Stomp on you.
And parents would no, that's where I was going with it. Parents vote, and you feel like parents do more than anything for their kids. That's why the toys are so high, toy prices and stuff, because they buy anything they can. So it's like, but if you're treating their kids right, so that was like a weird line for me in politics.
Yeah, that's politics though. It shows you where they are sometimes, man. I mean, look at the situation we're in the country right now. I mean, this is
yeah. We've been we've been circling over that conversation a little bit with the past few guests we've had, and it seems like it's a strong climate to be in. Do you do you voice your opinion on politics, or do you kind of stay?
Sometimes, a lot of times what I do is if somebody puts out a post that I agree with, I might repost their post without having to say it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'll go ahead and push that issue because I think it's really important. But even on the wire, I was running for mayor, but I'm not really into politics. You know what I mean? It's not my thing. It never has been. And watching. I mean, now voting. Yeah, I'll vote because having somebody who speaks for you and is going to do something to help the community that you're in and whatnot, the whole thing. Yeah, I'm about making sure or trying to do my part to make sure the right person is in place to do that job.
For sure.
If that's what you're called to do, then I want you to do I want the right person to do it. You know what I mean?
So, I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's the thing about Carcetti's character too, is that in a way it's like, Tony Gray legitimately cares about the educational system, whereas Carcetti, he kind of keeps telling everybody, including the audience, like he's ambitious and he actually cares about the community. And then immediately, as soon as he becomes mayor, he's all about himself and his own career. I always felt like that was a very realistic trajectory of like most politicians.
It is. It's on point, man. Well, like I said, they took a lot of their stories right from what happened in Baltimore. So
there wasn't much stretch of the imagination.
Not a lot. Not a lot. I mean, even with Stringer Bell and some of those other characters, those were real people. You know what I mean?
Those were real cases. But they had that one. They had a little more poetic license. It was like the Barksdale came from real cases, but like Stringer didn't get shot by Omar and Brother Mazoon, and a lot.
I mean, it's funny. Like my very first SAG gig was actually in Baltimore. I did Homicide: Life on the Streets. That was the first SAG gig that I did, and it's really weird because you could tell those names were prominent down there because even back then, this was way before the war. This was '97, and my character's name was Antonio Barksdale or Brookdale. I'm sorry, Brookdale. You know what I mean? So Barksdale, Brookdale. I'm like, these names they were resonating through that those guys' heads because David Simon was a part of that too, I believe. Homicide: Life on the Streets.
David Simon was part of Homicide, and Ed Burns got Avon. I think Avon Barksdale. I don't know if that's the real name, but Avon was a real case he worked on.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we were told Chris Clayton said that Bodie and Avon were the same person. split into two people.
I believe it. I'm just saying
Oh,
that's that creative license that you can combine two people into one, and yeah, it's interesting what they did, man. It was creative. It was
Well,
creative.
yeah. I mean, definitely. I write what you know, right? That's what they always tell you, and it's like
Yeah,
if you live in this world, it's like everybody is going to be based on somebody. I feel like at some point, or like every writer, when they write a character, there's some kind of person that they're thinking of,
hmm
in a way that they're like based on. Yeah, me and Jesse were actually talking about like doing a rewatch of Homicide: Life on the Street. Was that a show that like you were into as well, in addition to
yeah,
like acting in?
yeah. I actually did watch the show before I got on there. I did. That was a good, and it was funny because Eric Dellums, what was his character on there? He was public. He's the guy. He had the ponytail. I can't remember his character's name now. Why can't I remember that?
Jack, can you find it for us, real
Ponytail
quick?
guy. Wait, no.
Yeah,
What's his name?
guy with the
Eric Dellums.
ponytail. Eric Dellum.
All
Eric Ty
right,
Dellums.
hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm
Um,
here. I'm just looking up his name.
yeah.
Eric Dellums.
His character
Eric.
on Homicide.
Homicide character. But yeah, that was during that like transition during the '90s when like they were starting to really make. Oh, Luther Mahoney.
Yeah, Luther Mahoney. There you go. Yeah, he was public enemy number one. They couldn't stand him, and he was a known drug dealer. And the cops had their little hangout there. You go to it. They had their drinks after they get done their shift and everything. And he show up there having drinks, in the middle of their thing. And it's the guy they want, but they can't touch him. And he's in their bar, talking shit to him. You know what I mean?
Wow, wow.
Yeah, but
Great power move.
yeah, we had big time.
I
But
wonder if I wonder if those really exist that much anymore. Those cop bars, You
I
always
think so.
cop
I
bars.
think so.
Yeah,
I remember
there's got to be.
one. There's one here in South Philly. I mean, not South Philly, West Philly, called Scooters. And there used to be quite a few cops used to come in there. And matter of fact, the police station was like halfway up the block from there anyway. So they would go and drink and chill out for it every now and again. Yeah. I think it's still a bunch of them around.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like times have changed also though. Like I feel like I think bars in general just don't get as crowded as they used to.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of dangerous nowadays too. You know what I mean? You just never know if something's going to break out anymore, man. It's we live in it's strange times we living in, man. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta watch your back and be careful. I try not to live scared though. At the same time, you can't live scared. You can't enjoy life if you're living it scared all the time. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's still a beautiful day outside, and yeah, no, I mean, I'm the same way where it's like, we're talking about politics. There's so much horrible shit outside, and there's a war and everything, but it's like you just gotta live day by day. With Homicide: Life on the Street, though, that is interesting because like I'm actually when I go over my parents' house, I'm rewatching ER with them, and it's like there's something about those old '90s TV shows that like they hit differently. I don't know what it is. It's just like everything felt more real or simpler. I don't know, but it's like Homicide changed the game too because it felt like a more serious version of like what police are than like something like I don't know, like Magnum PI or something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Those like Miami Vice. You know what I mean? Those flashy kind of cop shows. You know what I mean? But yeah, they were gritty Northeast kind of feel to them. You know what I mean? That's what they had a different feel to those shows.
Oh yeah, I mean, The Wire too. Like I often bring this up, how The Wire was the first show to show like it's a not glamorous job because a lot of the times the police they're just sitting around like watching out a window and it just looks boring. And that's like a really unique way of like portraying the job, whereas everyone's always like car chases. Here they're just like filling out paperwork, and that definitely.
Yeah, New York Undercover was another one that kind of changed things a little bit. When they did New York Undercover.
Yeah, that was cool. Like New York Undercover. Now you did one of the movies I found interesting on your IMDb. White Man Can't Rap.
That was an independent piece, man.
Is it not worth checking out?
Yeah, let's see. I can't say that. I wouldn't say. You check it out until you judge it for yourself. It was.
Do you agree with that sentiment, or no?
I don't think Eminem would agree with that.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was pretty good.
You know what I mean?
That's funny. Is that like a spinoff of White Men Can't Jump? Like, is that what?
It was. Rick Morris wrote and directed that. He's out here. He lives in the King of Prussia area out here, and he's somewhat of a comedic kind of guy. So he wanted to do a little spoof thing called White Men Can't Rap. But it was fun. But it was just something to do. I mean, what that? I don't even know the year of that no more. Was that 05 or something? Like it was way.
I think it was 05, 04. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that was. As a little indie piece, man.
That was just a title that kind
What's
of
that?
stuck
All right, definitely. I'm gonna come in a second.
It was just kind of a title that kind of stuck out to me. Jack, I know we'll be wrapping up the interview now, quick. But Jack, you want to say something real quick before? I just heard that we just heard you get called on set.
What's that? No, I'm okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. I'm Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm helping out today too, but I also really want to get a chance to interview Mr. Chris Mann. I don't want to have to, I'm helping out at the Special Olympics actually today too.
Oh, you
so
really?
That's kind of
That's great, man.
I'm getting paid for it too, so it's not that noble, but I get paid somehow. Do you have anything coming up?
You got special needs of your own. I get it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. My bills are that's come priority. That's my special needs. Do you have anything coming up that you want to promote?
Well, like I said, that movie I was telling you about, Dear Stranger, is a really good piece, man. It's Tetsuya Mariko is the director. He when I was introduced to him, they said he was like the Japanese Spike Lee. He's an up and coming prominent filmmaker in Japan. The lead, gosh, I can't remember everybody's name now, and I hate them when I do that. But he's a lead. He's an A-lister from Japan, and the one who played his wife, Loon May. She's from Taiwan. She's an A-lister in Japan as well, and so it's a pretty prominent cast that they have, leading the film, and I have a supporting lead in the film. I'm like 3 or 4 on the cast list, so it's a nice role for me. So I really want to get that out there, man. It's a nice piece. It's been released in Japan, China, South Korea, I think even France. But it hasn't been released here, and we shot it in New York. So I'm like, okay, what's the deal? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. That sounds great, fantastic. I love Japanese cinema too. What makes him like the Japanese Spike Lee specifically? Is his style?
I think his approach to how he does his filmmaking. I think they think it's innovative and it's different, and he likes gritty kind of stuff. You know what I mean? This film is basically. I can't give the whole story of the plot or anything, but it's about a Asian family that lives here in the States, and their son goes missing, and there's this big thing about where he is, and a lot of secrets about their family start to unfold as you dig into the story to find out where the kid is. So it's a good piece.
Wow, that's fantastic. I definitely want to check it out. And you think it'll eventually be streaming on Tubi or something like that?
I'm hoping maybe even something bigger than Tubi. I mean,
yeah.
But I think because of who they have involved with it, I think it should. I think it will easily.
Yeah. Get that shit on Amazon Prime or Netflix.
It's that quality to it. So I think they can do it. Yeah, they can do it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
But also on Tubi, I don't want to make it look like I'm not throwing shade on Tubi. Tubi's awesome.
Oh no.
A lot of people actually their content is growing more and more.
Yeah.
See, man, it really is. So
Oh yeah,
Tubi,
I love
Tubi. Had some World Baseball classics I had to tune to Tubi too, and I love going to Tubi for old movies. For sure.
Exactly.
I gotta check that out.
So Christopher, man, thank you for coming on today, man. Shout out to Nakia for making this introduction. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been fun.
we'll follow your career, man. And anytime you have something, let us know, and we'll try
All
to
right.
give it a shout out. And
Gotcha.
so I appreciate you, man. Any last words for the podcast, Wire
Man,
fam?
keep doing the good work you guys are doing, man, and keep the wire alive, man. Don't let it die, man.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been told, man. We're doing our best, man. We're doing our
Yeah, I
best.
heard you had my girl Deborah Young on here too, right? You had her on.
So it's funny. I'll tell you a little something. I She seems to be the person that everybody loves. So
Everybody loves her.
when I
Everybody.
reach out like in Instagram on Facebook, I'll send them
Mhm.
her interview. They're like, "Oh,
Oh, is
you
that
interviewed
right?
Debbie?" And I always, when I send her interview, I always get an answer. Like
Yeah, I
whether
mean,
it's like I can't do it at the moment or like yeah, I'll be down.
yeah. No,
It
she's
seems
such
to be her
she's such a
interview
warm
seems to be
spirited person, man. I mean, you can't help but like Debbie. I mean, she's so genuine. She really is. She's good people.
yeah. Her interview seems to be the one that ever, and then her and shout out to Donna Adrian Gibson, who's been a godsend to the show. She's
Okay,
came on
yeah,
and she's like. She saw
nice.
us and she was like, "I'm gonna help you guys." And I was just talking to her yesterday, and she was like, "You guys' level of knowledge of the show is like unmatched, and
Okay.
I'll verify you guys for anybody, any like to come on and stuff." And she was like, "You're she was like the knowledge you guys have and how you guys come off as like three regular guys like."
Mhm,
She
mhm.
was like, the podcast is just so great, and I'm like, and she was like,
We're
the one
pretty
you
awesome,
do,
I will say.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you guys are being co-signed, man. That's great.
that was, she's the biggest co-sign we could get, So shout out to
Nice,
Miss Donna Adrian Gibson, Julito
nice.
McCullum who came on, Chris Ashworth, Christopher Mann, of course, Nakia Dillard. Who do you know the name of Nakia's acting school, real quick off the top of your head, Chris?
I can act. Is Nikia spelled backwards?
Connect. Okay, check that out, and of course, we'll
I
always
like
have the
that.
link
That's
down
really
there.
clever. That's
Um, are you are
I
you are
can't.
you a guest speaker there sometimes? Do you ever like?
I've done some things there over the years. A couple times I've gone there, and like I said, I'm actually looking at starting my own class right now too. I have one that we're going to call "Don't Get Caught Acting."
Don't get caught. All right,
I like that.
let us know, man. Let us know, and we'll shout you out and plug you, and
All right. Thank you
we'll.
Yeah,
guys.
and absolutely. Like I said, having a somebody like yourself who's an experienced actor, like I think that would be great for young people. So great experience for them. So yeah, absolutely. Everyone, check out Christopher Mann's acting school, and have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather.
You too.
And
You guys have a great one, man. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been fun.
Thank you, thank
All
you
right,
so
take
much,
care.
Chris.
I guess.